This is the museum district in London, where the world-class museums are located. This is Exhibition Road. On my right is Victoria and Albert Museum, housing Renaissance and classical arts. And this is Natural History Museum on my left. And then there's the Science Museum. And on that way, there's the Imperial College and the Royal Albert Hall. And also Music College, Royal Music College. South Kensington is one of London's most elegant and culturally rich neighborhoods, often called the city's museum quarter. Located in the royal borough of Kensington and Chelsea, it's famous for its world-class museums, stunning Victorian architecture, green spaces, and a sophisticated vibe with a strong international influence, especially French influence. The area developed as London's cultural quarter in the mid to late 19th century, blending eclectic Victorian styles with elegant residential streets. These iconic institutions, built between 1860s and 1880s, are a stunning display of Victorian-era grandeur and a bold experimentation with revival styles, with Gothic, Romanesque, Renaissance influences, shaped largely by Prince Albert's vision after the 1851 Great Exhibition. Innovative materials such as terracotta, brick, and iron were used, giving the buildings a pleasant reddish appearance. South Kensington is home to three of London's greatest museums and a concert hall, all clustered along Exhibition Road, perfect for a full day of exploration. Natural History Museum, a breathtaking cathedral-like building housing incredible dinosaur skeletons, wildlife exhibits, and the famous blue whale. Science Museum, interactive and inspiring, with galleries on space, technology, and innovation. Royal Albert Hall, this iconic concert venue, hosts everything from classical music to rock shows and the famous BBC proms. Completed in 1871, this circular concert hall draws from Roman amphitheaters, clad in over 6 million red bricks, with a stunning terracotta frieze encircling it. Its domed roof and a monumental scale make it instantly recognizable. The central tower of the Victoria and Albert Museum is a striking architectural feature atop the main entrance on the Cromwell Road facade. Designed by architect Aston Webb as part of the grand extension completed between 1899 and 1909, this structure rises prominently above the entrance, blending eclectic styles typical of the Edwardian era. It takes the form of a 3-story octagonal tower-like element, topped with an open crown, resembling an imperial crown, and surmounted by a statue representing fame. This crown draws inspiration from late Gothic architecture, particularly Scottish examples, while the overall detailing remains classical, creating the hybrid Renaissance medieval appearance. The tower stands about 56 meters high and serves as a dramatic focal point for the red brick and the Portland stone facade, which stretches 220 meters along Cromwell Gardens. This grand design unifies the museum's earlier patchwork of Victorian buildings into one cohesive landmark in South Kensington's Albertopolis Cultural District. If you are into science, art, history, or just soaking in London's refined atmosphere, this neighborhood is ideal for a visit. It's one of the best ways to experience the best of London in a compact area. The Victoria and Albert Museum, commonly known as the V&A, is one of the world's most prestigious museums of art, design, fashion, and sculpture. It is a sprawling complex in South Kensington, London, with Renaissance-inspired elements, grand facades, modern galleries, and a cafe. I visited V&A in the summer of 2025. It wasn't as overwhelming as the Louvre or the British Museum, but it was eye-opening and inspiring. I was particularly fascinated by its impressive collection of Italian Renaissance sculptures and diverse holdings of Asian art, ceramics, textiles, and silverwork. It was founded in 1852 and named after Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. The museum covers 12 acres and houses a collection of 2.8 million objects. There are 60,000 objects on display across 6 floors of galleries. Its collection spans 5,000 years of art from antiquity to the present day. The V&A consists of 4 curatorial departments: decorative art and sculpture, performance, furniture, textiles and fashion, art, architecture, photography and design, Asia. The collection departments are further divided into 16 display areas. The John Medeski Garden is known to many as the heart of the V&A. The garden itself is a beautiful work of art, just as much as the displays inside the museum. Serving as the northern entrance of the V&A Museum, the landscaped courtyard is surrounded by the magnificent buildings with a wealth of decorative ornamentation, including terracotta modeling, mosaic, and tiles on each of the building's facades. The stepped elliptical pool is a popular spot for families and children to play in. It provides a serene reflection of the surrounding buildings, while the lawn and the trees impart a tranquil backdrop to the array of outdoor displays. The grand building to the north is known as the Lecture Theatre Block. Historically, this building housed the important museum's educational facilities, reflecting how central education and public engagement were to V&A's founding purpose. The white columns, arches, and elegant balcony complement the red facades, giving a regal appearance. The block's facade decoration was designed to signal the museum's mission. Its triangular pediment mosaic celebrates the origins of the V&A at the Great Exhibition of 1851, showing Queen Victoria, the Crystal Palace, and allegories of science and the arts. On the left, science and invention are represented by steam locomotive and a printing press, while on the right, the arts are symbolized by a bust, a palette, brushes, and a canvas, a classical column, and a violin. The architecture blends elaborate Victorian decorative elements, terracotta, mosaic, and sculpture ornament, reinforcing the museum's ethos that the outside of the building should be as instructive as its collections. The Victoria and Albert Museum in London houses the famous Rood Loft, also known as a rood screen or choir screen, from St. John's Cathedral in Netherlands. Displayed in the museum's Renaissance City Gallery, this large monumental piece serves as the gallery's focal point. A choir screen or root loft separated the public areas of a church from those reserved for the clergy. It was a common feature in Netherlandish churches of the 1200s and the 1600s. This root loft was designed and installed in the Cathedral of St. John's from 1610 to 1613 to separate the nave from the choir, support an organ, serve as a preaching platform, and feature a central root above it. It was removed from the cathedral and sold around 1866 amid religious reforms and controversies, and acquired by the Victoria and Albert Museum from an art dealer. Made primarily of alabaster in Dutch Renaissance style, the root loft is richly adorned with vivid and detailed sculptures and reliefs. The west-facing side features elaborate figures, including faith, hope, and charity at the top. In the recesses are 4 smaller men bearing shields originally painted with coats of arms. There are 6 reliefs between the figures, which represent scenes from the life of Jesus: the miracle at Cana, the miracle of the loaves and the fishes, the transfiguration, and the betrayal. Below are the statues of St. Peter, the Virgin and the Child, St. John the Evangelist, and St. Paul. Statues representing justice and peace, and the reliefs representing the Nativity, the adoration of the Magi, the resurrection, and the ascension were originally located on the north and the south ends of the root loft. These are now located under the vaulting. The history of this root loft is intimately linked with the religious protest and reform around 1566, when many religious images in the Netherlands were destroyed or badly damaged. This early 17th century root loft was clearly intended to communicate strong messages about Catholicism in the city governed by Protestant reformers. The Casquarts at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London are one of the museum's most iconic and dramatic spaces. These 2 large halls, originally called the Architectural Courts, were purpose-built and opened to the public in 1873, housing massive reproductions of famous sculptures and architectural elements from around the world. These historic galleries offer a glimpse of the Victoria Museum. Entering the Casquarts is like walking into the 19th century's London. The West Court features Trajan's Column and a cast of modern European and Spanish works. The East Court focuses on Italian monuments and other highlights. This is The Rebellious Slave by Michelangelo. This is a cast of the original work. This is The Dying Slave by Michelangelo, also the cast of the original work. This is David. The original statue is in Florence. If you have visited art museums in France and Italy, you must recognize some of these works. Unlike typical museum galleries filled with originals, the Casquarts showcase plaster casts of renowned masterpieces. This reflects the Victorian era's ambition to educate the public and artists by bringing encyclopedic examples of global art and architecture to London, at a time when international travel was difficult and expensive. The collection embodies the V&A's founding mission as a school of design and art education. The cast courts are dominated by a massive column known as the Trajan column in two parts. In 106 AD, the Roman Emperor Trajan commissioned the original monumental structure to commemorate his conquest of Dacia, now Romania. The column took 7 years to complete and has stood in Rome ever since, surviving for nearly 2,000 years. In the early 1860s, Napoleon III ordered a plaster cast to be made of the column. In 1864, the V&A Museum bought the cast. Measuring 35 meters high, the column was too tall to fit the museum building at the time. So in 1873, the museum built the architectural courts, now the cast courts, to house the column. The height of today's courts was determined by Trajan's column. But even then, they could only be built high enough to display the column in two sections, assembled around the inner brick chimneys. The Three Graces by French Renaissance sculptor Germain Pilon is a renowned marble group, originally created around 1561. It formed the upper part of a funerary monument commissioned by Queen Catherine de' Medici to house the heart of her late husband, King Henry II of France, who died in 1559. The three mythological figures, daughters of Zeus, representing beauty, charm, and joy, stand back to back, supporting a bronze urn, now a modern replica, on their heads and raised hands. The original was destroyed during the French Revolution. The cast faithfully reproduces Pilon's elegant Mannerist style, with figures flowing drapery, intertwined poses, and expressive details, highlighting the Renaissance revival of classical themes in French sculpture. Michelangelo's David is probably the most famous sculpture in the world, reproduced countless copies, large and small. This life-size cast was a gift to Queen Victoria from the Grand Duke Leopold II of Tuscany. Michelangelo carved his David from a single block of marble. David, slayer of the giant Goliath, was a symbol of freedom for the Florentine Republic. It was used by both the Republican government and a powerful Medici family who effectively ruled Florence. The sculpture Mercury and Psyche is displayed in the cast courts of the Victoria and Albert Museum. The sculpture depicts the Roman god Mercury, recognizable by his winged helmet and sandals, effortlessly lifting the beautiful Psyche into the air in a dramatic spiral. According to ancient Roman mythology, after Psyche completes her trials set by Venus, Jupiter grants her immortality. Mercury is sent to fetch her and carry her to Mount Olympus, where she drinks ambrosia and is reunited eternally with her lover Cupid. Created in 1593, the bronze sculpture is one of the most celebrated masterpieces by the Dutch Mannerist sculptor Adrian de Vries. It showcases several distinctive features. Mercury's dynamic pose, with one leg bent and the wings spread, conveys effortlessly flight, while Psyche's limp, graceful form emphasizes her ethereal ascent. The extreme spiraling movement invites the viewer to view it from all angles. The best way to view it is to walk around it in a circle. With incredible lightness and buoyancy, the figures appear to float despite being solid bronze. Mercury balances on just the ball of 1 foot, with only a few thin struts supporting Psyche's weight. The dynamic interplay of limbs, drapery, and wings creates a whirlwind effect. The museum acquired this plaster cast in 1865, indicating a Victorian taste for a post-Renaissance style of sculpture known as Mannerism. In the cast courts of the Victoria and Albert Museum, there are 12 relief panels. They are plaster casts of the original stone reliefs, created in the 1500s by the commissions of the French royalty, and now located in various parts of France. The V&A Museum acquired these casts in the 1880s. These extraordinary reliefs are separate but thematically related. They are among the most elegant examples of French Renaissance sculpture on display there, featuring voluptuous female allegorical figures, symbolizing themes such as nature, mythology, abundance, and fertility, popular themes in the French court, and showcasing the sculptor's mastery of refined carving. At the top is the Abundance relief, depicting the personified figure of abundance, a classical allegory of prosperity and plenty. She is typically depicted as a graceful female figure holding a cornucopia overflowing with fruits, grains, and other symbols of wealth and fertility, with flowing drapery and idealized Mannerist proportions. The Diana relief features hunter goddess Diana, often portrayed in a dynamic pose with attributes like a bow, quiver, or hunting motifs, accompanied by dogs in a woodland setting. Below is the Summer relief, depicting summer as a personified figure, often shown in classical style with attributes symbolizing abundance, harvest, and warmth, such as sheaves of wheat, fruits, or seasonal motifs. The 9 reliefs of water nymphs and a putti are reproductions of the originals by French sculptor Jean Goujon between 1547 and 1549. They are located in the Fountain of the Innocents in Paris, a public fountain built to commemorate royal entries and symbolizing themes of water, abundance, and renewal, featuring graceful water nymphs. The nymphs are depicted in sensuous, flowing poses with translucent drapery that clings to their bodies, evoking classical antiquity while embodying Mannerist elegance, elongated forms, refined contours, and a sense of movement. The nymphs' undulating drapery, idealized beauty, and a joyful putti convey a sensuality and a celebration of life and water. The museum displays multiple plaster casts of these panels, hung side by side on the wall in a linear arrangement rather than their original architectural context around the fountain. This setup allows close-up study of the details, which is the key purpose of the cast courts, to bring masterpieces to scholars, artists, and the public through faithful reproductions.
was magnificent.
The museum's collection provided examples to inspire artists, designers, and artisans to supply better designs to Britain's factories. Spectacular displays would also shape public taste to help consumers become more discerning in their choices. Copies including plaster casts, electrotypes, and photographs were central to this mission and complemented the museum's collections of original works. Together, they offered a 19th century encyclopedia of international decorative styles. Today, the cast courts take us back in time. For Victorians, they were the height of modernity. In a period when travel was difficult, the courts brought art and architecture from around the globe together under one roof, making the world feel smaller and more connected in a way that can be compared to the dawn of the Internet. A modern fascination with replication, particularly via digital media, has rekindled the relevance of these collections for visitors now.
This is Moses. Michelangelo.
I know.
The Victoria and Albert Museum in London, commonly known as the V&A, houses one of the world's most extensive sculpture collections. Spanning from the 4th century to the present day, it includes around 17,500 to 22,000 objects in materials like marble, bronze, terracotta, wood, ivory, and more, with a strong focus on Western European sculpture, especially Italian Renaissance and Baroque masterpieces, alongside Northern European polychrome woodworks, ivories, and other highlights. Rooms 21 through 24 are the sculpture galleries of the V&A. They tell the story of sculpture in Britain over 350 years. These works begin in the 17th century with funerary monuments intended for churches and portrait busts, once shown in grand houses. The display continues through the gallery, ending with the development of modern sculpture at the start of the 20th century. Until about 1800, sculpture in Britain was mostly commissioned or purchased by wealthy individuals to decorate their homes and gardens, or to commemorate a family member. These patrons began to tour Europe, especially Italy, in the 18th century, collecting sculptures and developing the taste for classical and Renaissance art. Artists, too, traveled between Britain and mainland Europe, cultivating a long-standing cultural and artistic exchange. Many Flemish and French sculptors found success in Britain, while British sculptors traveled to France and Italy, where they absorbed the classical influences. They brought back the neoclassical style, which remained popular until about 1850. After this, British sculptors focused on more naturalistic study of the human figure, before turning towards abstraction in the 20th century. The Crouching Venus is a marble sculpture by John Knox the Elder, made in 1702. In this work, Venus half kneels on a rectangular base, her arms crossed in front of her breasts, her head turned to her right, and her hair partly coiled in a bun at the back of her head. She wears a bracelet on her upper left arm. The nude goddess appears ineffectually attempting to cover her nakedness, her gesture only succeeding in drawing attention to her sensual body. The goddess is thought to be bathing, or possibly adjusting her hair, and caught unawares. Helen of Troy is a marble bust created by Italian sculptor Antonio Canova in 1812. In Greek mythology, Helen was the daughter of the god Jupiter and was famed for her great beauty. Jupiter, taking the form of a swan, seduced the leader who gave birth to Helen from an egg. Hence, the eggshell seen here on Helen's head. Helen was married to Menelaus, the king of Sparta. While her husband was away, she was abducted by the Trojan prince Paris, to whom she was later married. So began a long war between the Greeks and the Trojans. Eve listening to the voice of Adam depicts Eve listening to the voice of Adam in the Garden of Eden, a subject inspired by Book 4 of John Milton's religious epic poem Paradise Lost. Eve, as a naked female figure, is shown seated, her body partly resting on her right arm, tilting her body to the right. She lifts and turns her head, her left arm raised in the air. Her inclined head, lightly parted lips, and raised eyes are all expressive of the act of listening. The Assumption of the Virgin is an ivory figure group made in the early 1700s in southern Italy. It depicts the Assumption of the Virgin and the scene of the life of the Virgin. The carving is composed of the scores of many figures in full relief. The tusk has been sawn down the middle. 6 rosettes show the Nativity of the Virgin. The presentation of the Virgin as a young girl in the temple, the Annunciation, the Visitation, and Immaculate Conception. In the center, the Virgin is seen ascending to heaven, while beneath the apostles and other figures are grouped around the empty tomb. Above, Christ is seen with God the Father and the angels. Cleopatra Dying is a statuette representing the suicide of the Egyptian queen Cleopatra after her and her Roman lover Mark Antony's defeat by the army of Octavian at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. The Ivory Queen is seen expiring as she takes her last breath, bitten by an asp still coiled around her left arm. She falls back limply onto her throne, her neck stretched out, head to the side, lips slightly parted, her loose dress revealing the breast.